according to the New York Times, she's very influential. She certainly is with me. I want to thank Estela Vasquez, my dear, dear friend, one of the great labor leaders of this city, for her very, very kind introduction, her fiery introduction, which is what we expect from everyone trying to make change on this issue. I want to thank this extraordinary coalition, labor and elected officials and community organizations that are making such a change here today. Especially want to say we're honored by the presence of Mary Kay Henry, the president of SEIU International. Let's thank her for her tremendous leadership. Now, brothers and sisters, it's this simple. In Washington, it's bad enough. They can't figure out how to keep the government open right now. They can't figure out how to deal with the basics. And that is what's in everyone's front of the mind right now. But listen, what we've got to have a clear understanding of is that our federal government, our Congress, is supposed to represent all the people of this country. It's supposed to look at life as it is in this country and make the changes that are needed to represent our reality. This is in the U.S. Constitution. It envisioned the notion that our society would change, and our Congress, our leaders, were supposed to change with it and constantly make it a more perfect union where everyone had a chance, and that includes 11 million Americans who happen not to be documented. They deserve a chance too. 11 million people. 11 million people who make this country work, who every day, our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, make it possible for this to be the greatest nation on earth. And we demand of the Congress comprehensive immigration reform now. And that must include a path to citizenship for everyone who is here today. Now, here in New York City, we have a special obligation. You know, even some of our Republican friends like to talk about America as the beacon of immigrants. They like to talk about all the history, the romance of it. Well, here in New York City, it's real to us. It's not just a dream or an ideal. In New York City, we are the city of immigrants. We always have been, and we're proud of it. And we have to represent that.
I think we're going to make that happen.
And we have to lead the nation, because when Washington is stalled, it's up to people in New York City and other cities and other states around the country to lead the way. We have to set the example here of how to include all of our brothers and sisters, even if they're not documented. So there's almost 500,000 of our fellow New Yorkers who happen to be undocumented. They deserve greater rights too. I think we need an ID card, a municipal ID card, so anyone who wants identification has a right to it. We can't treat our fellow human beings who happen not to be documented. We can't treat them like they don't have a right to a lease for an apartment, or a library card, or a bank account. They need the ID so they can live a normal life and participate fully in this society. It's an astounding state of affairs when the state of Colorado just recently went ahead of the state of New York by giving the right to undocumented workers to earn a driver's license. But it's time for New York State to catch up. Anyone who can pass that test, who needs to drive for their work or for their family, it's not about their documentation status. They're New Yorkers too. They deserve that right to a driver's license. And finally, here in the city, we need to make sure that when someone needs health care, we're not stopping to ask them to pull out their paperwork and tell us what their documentation status is. Anyone who needs health care, anyone whose life is in danger, any child who needs our help, they deserve it at our public hospitals and We have to keep hospitals open in our neighborhoods so everyone gets served. So brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, we together, we will lead this nation in the right direction. We will show what it looks like to have an inclusive society. We will treat our brothers and sisters who are undocumented with dignity and respect and appreciation. And someday Washington, D.C. will get the idea that it's time for change. God bless you and thank you.